This is the first video of a 4-part video series traveling across Germany. We are making a trip across the country, stopping by some iconic German landmarks.
I feel like I'm in a PUBG map right now.
And some lesser known towns as well.
This little town is so beautiful.
In this series, we are really testing ourselves by facing fears.
I'm scared now.
And trying things for the first time.
Oh my God.
We are both seeing and learning more about Germany, and of course, eating some iconic and regional German food along the way.
We are at the most western point in all of Germany. This right here is actually the border to the Netherlands. There's this little river, just the bushes in this small town, and if you hop over it, actually it marks it right here. I think I just crossed into the Netherlands. That's how it goes in Europe. And this is going to be the start of our multi-part journey from the most western point in Germany to the most eastern point in Germany, all over there at the Polish border.
Los geht's! All right, so driving all the way across Germany is a whopping 760 kilometers, and that could take us less than 8 hours. Let's be honest, that's like an average commute for vacation for an American. But we are gonna do this over multiple days, making multiple stops in some places I've never been to, some of the less known places, but I'm pretty excited to see more of Germany, to visit more states of Germany and more cities, and we're gonna eat a lot.
Eat our way through Germany.
Yeah.
We have some rules for this road trip. Rule number 1, make it to the most eastern point of Germany. Rule number 2, only speak German to strangers. Number 3 is my personal goal to eat a Thüringer Bratwurst in Thuringia. Rule number 4 is Phil's, which is to camp in a tent at some point during this trip. And lastly, rule number 5 is to visit Dresden for my very first time.
All right, so we're in the car. We're gonna spend the next couple of days here, but we're gonna try to show as much as possible different towns, different points of interest, and mostly also different types of nature, because we're starting here at the Dutch border and the country is as flat as nowhere else. It's just as far as you can see, just these agricultural fields, corn, maize, whatever, and it's very, very flat. But we're heading east. We're gonna stop at a very nice town that was recommended to us, and then later today it should get already very hilly, very mountainous.
We are trying to avoid the Autobahn and highways as much as possible and enjoy the calmer roads, passing by farms and through small towns and villages. And about an hour later, we made it to our first stop.
All right, so we made it over to the town of Jülich, and the real reason I wanted this as a stop is because look how epic this looks. They have these gates, they're called Witches' Towers, and this town has been around since the Roman Empire era. It was destroyed during World War II, but it's been rebuilt and some of it still remains, so we're gonna go and check it out.
This city has seen a lot of history, and in the 16th century, Jülich was transformed into a Renaissance fortress city. The Jülich Citadel is still one of the remaining examples of this architectural style. The Citadel is now a modern high school, and there is a museum that was unfortunately closed, although it is still very impressive to see the size of this fortress.
It is pretty impressive and a very big structure for this small of a town here.
Since most of the town was destroyed during World War II, you do see many post-war buildings. But the town center has a very local vibe. There was a market in the town square with food stalls and clothing for sale. There were a few secondhand shops and charming bookstores.
Dude, wie süß.
And even the restaurant signs had some personality.
Wir haben kein WLAN, redet miteinander, tut so, als wäre es 1995. I like that. So I haven't been here obviously either, and we're still in the very west of Germany. This is actually west of Cologne and part of it. First impression is it's very, very quaint. Germany has these medieval towns all throughout the country, but this one apparently played a big role in medieval times, and you can definitely still see it.
And before we leave this town, we had to stop by a bakery that has been in business since 1867.
Hallo.
Ich hätte gern einen Kokos-Nussecke, bitte.
Was sind denn das für Pizzastücke? Haben Sie verschiedene?
Einmal Thunfisch,
Ja.
dann habe ich hier Schinken Ananas.
Ja, ich hätte gerne so eine größere mit Thunfisch dann auch.
Eine Thunfisch?
Ja, das wär's. Geht nur bar, oder?
Ja, Karte ist ab 10 € leider.
Oh, das ist yours. Schwer.
Welcome to our breakfast. We're about 50 kilometers in and we're in the town of Jülich.
Yes, so I decided to get my favorite, which is a variation of a Nussecker. This is a kokos Nussecker. So it has the standard triangle corner, but this one is filled with coconuts, then along with nuts and a cake, cookie bottom, and then chocolate on the edges. It looks so good. Look how thick this is.
It sounds like something that should go well together, like the coconut with the typical Nussecker.
This is my stuff.
I got, like a good typical German, a tuna pizza, a round tuna pizza thing. Pretty heavy and it's cold. They had no option to warm it up and it kind of feels a little sad, but it's heavy. Breakfast time. This is pretty good. It's
a pretty soft cake bottom for a Nussecker. And yeah, this is a 9 out of 10. Very good. Solid start.
I think this is what Germans do with pizza. They put the cheese on top. There's a good amount of tuna underneath. Pizza snacks are so common because I think every German's favorite cuisine is Italian. So even the German bakeries, they offer these pizza slices. Can't complain about it. All right, the town of Jülich. It has a population of about 33,000. Very quaint, very cute. It's kind of like the vibe you get from these small towns like that. But we have to get back on the road. It's already midday and we have a lot more miles or kilometers to go today.
Allee, 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 eine Straße, viele Bäume, ja, das ist eine Allee.
So we're filling up gas. I think there's a giant tractor next to you.
Yeah, very normal thing here in the rural parts of Germany. But it's actually not giant. It's not even a John Deere.
That's huge. Look at the tires taller than you right now sitting. Oh dear. I think my tractor's sexy. As Phil fills up the gas, I still cannot get over in Germany is how you pump first and then you pay. It's a very trustful system, but I guess there are also cameras everywhere, so if you do decide to run, you'll be billed like crazy. But yeah, that's something so foreign because in the US, you always put your credit card or debit card or pay with cash first, and then you fill it up. Look at Phil washing some windows.
Apparently I didn't do a good enough job, so she's redoing it.
And due to time, we unfortunately have to get onto the highway. If you've ever driven in Germany, you know there's gonna be a lot of construction and traffic delays. We wave past our home in Düsseldorf and continue north into more traffic.
An hour later, 2 traffic jams later, we're driving through the Ruhrpott, this area in the west of Germany, very famously the most metropolitan area in Germany, and it has a big historical background for industrialization after the Second World War. It was like this hub for mining, coal mining and all that stuff. A lot of hard working, blue collar environment in the Ruhrpott. That's what it's known for, to be grounded, to be real. And we're crossing it and we're gonna show you something, hopefully where we've also never been, the cultural highlight of the area. All right, we just arrived in the heart of the Ruhrpott, the heart of the coal miner at the Zeche Zollverein. This is one of the biggest coal mining mines in Germany in history. In Europe, and I think it's often called the most beautiful coal mine in the world.
It's also a UNESCO World Heritage Site, so we were like, we have to see it, we're so close to it.
And this thing operated till 1986, and it was basically the heart of this area, the whole of this coal mine industry, and it was producing 12,000 tons of coal per day.
Per day.
Which so made it the biggest in...
The most in Europe at one point.
Europe,
yeah, obviously not now, but at one point, yeah.
And I think because the environment for the workers and the whole coal mining business being bad for the environment I think that is the main reason why they closed all of this down. However, they let this whole factory stand here as a museum and as an experience for people to come and look at. And we're just walking in here and I think, dude, this feels like a movie set. It's pretty epic. We'll see what we find.
If you ignore the current construction, this area feels like we've been taken back in time. The Museum and Visitors Center is located in the largest building, which is the coal washery shaft 12. There were epic views just taking the escalator up, and once inside, it was so cool to see and read about coal production.
This is very cool. I also think we're pretty high up. Don't know what's going on down there. But somewhere here the museum starts. Man, I feel like if you're into like steampunk or industrial stuff, this must be your heaven. I think it's pretty cool.
Unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to wait for the next available walking tour, but we used the internet and a map to explore the complex ourselves. And this area is massive. So you see so many of these older railroad tracks that have been covered and now are like walking paths through this whole area. It shows how much traffic was just
in this area when it was prime peak time for coal mining.
So this complex is very interesting, and they allow you to just walk around everywhere, which is super cool and feels kind of unusual for Germany because usually you're not allowed to touch anything.
Don't even look at it.
I just found out there's two big complexes. The Zeche is the coal mine where they actually mined the coal, and then this big shaft number 12, that big steel building, is where they move the coal out of the earth like to the top. And then the second part where we're walking to now is the Kokerei, the coking plant, where they made the charcoal into this like fossil fuel, whatever, that is then used for steel production. So that's where they mined it, and then we're walking over to where they, what is the word? Refined it, where they refined it. This feels so surreal right now. You're in this green forest, the birds are chirping, and then you have this like old stuff there. That's where they must have
Transport the coal.
Yeah, the coal over.
Yeah. Feels like Jurassic Park or Walking Dead or something.
It's just fascinating to see how nature begins to take over. If this area wasn't regularly maintained, it would be hidden by the flora.
We're in The Last of Us. Look, we're about to go take over Seattle. We're in Seattle, Germany.
Yeah, this area feels very much like a movie set because it's such a contrast to our modern desk-sitting technological lives that we live today.
So this spot is like this coking plant part of it, where it got refined, and I feel like I'm in a PUBG map right now. I'm looking out for like weapon drops on the ground.
So we're walking through this. This is a very industrial area. It's a very manual labor area at the time when it was operational. And it makes me think of these desk jobs that we have. And our goal nowadays is to get enough steps because we're sitting in front of a computer, barely moving and stuff. And so it kind of shows just another time. I feel like my great-grandparents or grandparents even did more activity just in their job than we do currently today.
100%.
It's interesting to think about, right?
Yeah, definitely. And I just looked up, I think at its peak in the 1950s, there were 8,000 workers here. So
wow.
Just picturing 8,000 people coming in here every day and out. It must have been hella busy. And it shows because this area is so vast, so big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hit my 10K step goal just walking through this complex. I was honestly quite impressed by the entire area. It's a bit surreal walking around here. And I do have to say, this is the most beautiful coal mine facility I've ever seen.
I walked over, I think this is the main part of this coking section, the refinery for the raw coal, and it's just epic too. I don't know, just because it's so quiet, to me it feels like any season in Walking Dead when they arrive at some destination. This is the one we're gonna go to. This is what that feels like, arriving at something like that.
Today, many of the buildings are either offices or museums, and there are plans to extend in the future. But we all know how long construction takes in Germany. But it's getting late into the day, and it's time for us to continue further southeast.
Can't even balance on it.
You're the worst parents ever. You left your children in this hot-ass car. We're dying. I'm melting.
Another trait of the Ruhrpott is the traffic, and we're struggling now to make it out of it.
We're not going to hit our next destination in time.
Yeah, we have 2 more destinations, and the day is getting old now, so I hope we're gonna make it here soon.
After a few hours and some French rap songs, American rock songs, and complete silence later, we are finally in continuous moving traffic and on our way to the next destination. I think we're finally about to see some hills. Look at that. We finally see them. There's some bags, some baggers, some huge bags coming up.
Finally made it out of the Ruhrpott. That traffic was horrible. We kind of hit rush hour too. We went off the highway finally, and it's getting hilly. We're slowly entering the Sauerland, and I think this is the first national park with actual hills coming from the Netherlands, which makes it one of the prime holiday vacation destinations for Dutch people. And we're going deep in here and hopefully get a good vibe of it.
I've already seen a few yellow license plates out and about here, but we have one stop before our final overnight destination. We hope it all lines up. We're already a little late, but I'm seeing some lovely humps around here.
Yeah. Would you look at that?
Would you look at that? Some nice humps.
And fortunately for you all, before our car craziness kicks in, we make it to our next stop, which is this small town. We see the castle! That's where we're headed! Wow, it's a castle on a hilltop. Pretty. I think they're trying to tell you not to park here, but I'm not sure. You know, there's one every 2 meters. No parking, no parking, no parking. And it was at this point we started to realize there wasn't enough time in the day for everything we originally planned.
We're entering a castle, and I haven't heard of this one, but it looks freaking epic. This whole town, super beautiful. We just drove in. It's called Altena or Altena, and it looks super nice. It looks like a little Heidelberg on a river. Also, there's a huge group of kids loudly screaming America. The castle is closed. This is as far as we can go up. That in there. It's opening up a courtyard there.
So this is what we originally wanted to make it to 2 hours ago, but we were definitely late. As you can see, it's closed.
Essen basically cut this one short, but at least we can get a good look of it from the outside.
All right, so we were a little late to get here, but this little town is so beautiful. It's mountainous, and there's also a big river running through the center, and I think this castle just looks epic from the outside. We didn't get to go in because we were here too late, but it's very quaint, and I didn't even know this was so close to where we live. Like, this is just, what, an hour or two outside of Düsseldorf?
Yeah, dude, this looks like a thumbnail. Look at that, picturesque.
So pretty. It gives me a lot of like the Black Forest vibes, but also kind of beginning of the Alps when we first started going there.
And I just said Heidelberg.
Yeah, Heidelberg. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, that's true. I like the architecture a lot. Some of these buildings are so detailed, so old, and so unique. They're not quite uniform, and they're all their own style. It's really nice. Dang, this is so quaint. I wish we got to spend a little more time here. There's also, that one was pretty, right? Yeah.
This one's pretty.
I'm just getting some barrel of pretty buildings.
Me too.
Yeah, my original plan was to go through the castle and museum and then enjoy a proper Kaffee und Kuchen break at a nearby cafe. But we just didn't have enough time. I definitely want to come back during the early fall season. I think the trees would look absolutely beautiful. But for now, we continue deeper into the Sauerland, passing tractors, farms, and lots of cows. We're parking. I'm parking here.
Look at the humps, nice humps, 10 out of 10 humps.
All right, as you can see, we just pulled over on the side here. I'm pretty sure this is the Sauerland. This is the national park here in the west of Germany, and it's super nice, man. We just came from Altena, and just driving further in, it gets very hilly in the back there, and it's just these rolling hills and fields. There's a lot of bikers, there's a lot less traffic. And yeah, it's kind of nice coming out of the Ruhrpott into this area. Right?
It's a lot less people, we'll say that. A lot more nature, so makes it nicer. Do we hate people?
Gotta keep trucking.
And we're off again. It's about an hour more of driving through calm roads and quiet villages. We wave to the cows. We pass a blitzer or two, but not today, sir. Until we arrive at our overnight destination. And before we continue, we are asking you to please like the video and subscribe for more videos around the world. If you want to further support us, you can do that at patreon.com/GNNphil. And shout out to our family tier patrons: Ethan Mitchell, Heather Kuffner, Hessen Metro, Tarek Malkosh, Ushi Izar, Lee Lim, Jessica Saranzak, Debbie and Ray Gordon, Jamie DeVries, Yao Nupe, and Parker Dobke. Thank you. We're driving into Winterberg right now. It looks so resorty, like it's made to be a ski town or some destination. I'm so curious. I'm immediately seeing a whole bunch of Dutch words. There's Pannenkoeken, there's a few Dutch hotels, so we'll see. I thought we were in Germany. Right, a few Dutch license plates. There it is.
All right, welcome to our tour. We had a little bit of problems checking in here. For the second time of like 100 times using booking.com, they didn't have the booking. It went through booking and I paid for it, but the hotel was like, hey, we don't have it, sorry.
We originally got just a bedroom.
We originally got a normal room. He was like, oh, we're also full and I haven't got your booking. So he called his boss and then they upgraded us to this apartment. Kind of worked out, right? We got a little upgrade. So here is the bathroom. We have the roof top. That's why the walls are a little slanted, little view. We have a tub. We have 4 towels. So I guess this apartment is meant for 4 people.
4 people, but we're just 2. We forgot to show the toilet, so that's right here. It's a little water closet there.
We have a kitchen and we're like, yeah, nice. We have a kitchen so we can cool our drinks and it has everything except the refrigerator.
Nah, it had a refrigerator. It was just very well camouflaged.
Here's a little peek outside. It looks almost like we could be in Bavaria or something.
Yeah, right? It's so interesting. It's so quaint.
Nice thing here, very, very wobbly.
Yeah, be careful.
I'm gonna break that. This is Diana's room.
This is not my room.
And then across is the master bedroom.
This is the other bedroom. It's very big. It's like a full apartment. There's a closet.
So much space and then just a queen bed.
There's a nice butt. And then here is the living room. It's quite nice.
That's unusual, but I guess if you're family or 4 people or have children, maybe a living room is good. Yeah, so this is fully Dutch run. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but this area, Winterberg, Villingen in the Sauerland, is the primary vacation destination for Dutch people and everybody who's living west of this in Europe and wants a little bit of elevation and hills because this is the first mountain range, the national park.
Even when we booked it, it said either in English or Dutch.
Please write your request in Dutch or English, not German. And there's a restaurant downstairs and everybody sitting there speaking to each other was Dutch.
Oh, really? I didn't listen. I was just like, are we going to have a place to stay tonight or should I look up hotels?
So if you think about it, we started in the Netherlands or on the border.
And we're still there.
Kind of still there, but we have to go out into the town and get a proper dinner.
It's already so late, so we gotta go. Are we in Germany or the Netherlands? Look at those. Maybe it's because the restaurant says Pannekuchenhaus, Heus. All right, here we are walking down the main street, full bike section, separate sidewalk, and car lane. A car lane, whatever that is, it's a street. It's a car lane. And it's just holiday rentals all over here. I think we found the place that we're going to. I really hope it's open because half of these places are not serving dinner still because we're so late, but the Kartoffelkiste, let's go.
All right, by this time we are very hungry. Quite a few of the restaurants were closed and this potato restaurant looked pretty good. Honestly, at this point we were just struggling and wanted food.
On this channel yet. I spoke in the back.
Take 2.
All right, so that was a very long day and we finally came here and we're having dinner. We're having a proper hearty dinner and I have ordered something that I think I've never eaten on this channel before. It is a Kartoffelgratin, a potato gratin, which is kind of this like casserole style. And this one has gyros in it, cheese on top of the potatoes. It's like creamy sauce where the potatoes are baked in and then tzatziki on top. Kind of like a Mediterranean, Middle Eastern, maybe Turkish variety to the Kartoffelgratin.
French dish.
Which is kind of like a French dish, yeah. And me as the potato lover, I cannot believe I don't eat this more. It's still steaming, so it's the Kartoffelgratin. I think it's my first one in 20 years.
I can't believe it. I picked out this restaurant because it has Kartoffel in the name and it looked amazing.
Dude, it's so creamy. The potatoes are super soft. They melt in your mouth and then there's cream in there. And the tzatziki on top gives it a nice contrast because it's cold and very garlicky, of course. And I think it works very well together. This is the first one with gyros in there that I ever had. Potatoes can't go wrong.
All right, and I went with the very traditional burger.
The American way.
Well, you know, maybe the burger came from Hamburg, right? Like the patty itself. Yeah. Maybe not the style we enjoy today, the modern style, but you know. It's been a long day. I really wanted a burger. It looks good. It has a Kartoffelpuffer or Reibekuchen in there. There is ketchup on there and some sauce, some lettuce. And I'm just gonna dig in because I'm hungry and it's almost like 10 p.m. right now.
And you're American. And also, you can't go wrong with putting like a potato thing on the burger.
This is exactly what you want after a long car day. I'm just so glad we are not camping tonight because I would have died. We're good, good. Solid burger.
So we're in basically bumfuck nowhere in a German restaurant or Dutch area. We're having a burger. It's pretty decent. Nice. Fries are pretty good. We're digging fries into potato.
Ich bin schon satt. All right. We just finished dinner, and as you can see, German summer is coming. I guess Northern Europe summer is coming because the sun is still out.
And it's 9:30.
9:30, so it's pretty late. I'm so full, but I'm also so glad the kitchen was still open because like most places close at 10.
A place that specializes in potatoes. What else can you ask for?
I'm very full. We're doing a Verdauungsspaziergang. You guys know that word. So a digestive walk before we go back to the apartment hotel thing. What is Brabant?
Brabant is an area in the Netherlands, and there's the Brabant Express Reisen. The Brabant Express.
So it's bringing the Dutch people right here.
And it's right behind the Der Brabander apartment.
We're in the Netherlands. We never left.
Ja, Junge.
This meta. I just ran here to try to catch the sunset. But look how pretty these colors are.
All right, we just ate and Diana is running up there to the ski jump thing to get the sunset. The sun has already set, but the sky looks epic, so she's running for it.
That's the name of the restaurant I originally wanted to go to, but it's geschlossen today, and we got the potato restaurant, which was also awesome. I'm so out of breath. I might need to voice this over. I'm literally dying, but I ran. How pretty is this? Look at that sunset. Amazing. That's pretty. Wow. How pretty. So that was our first day. We started at the border of the Netherlands, the most west point of Germany, continued onto multiple stops, Jülich, Essen, Altena, and now we're ending it in
Winterberg with a very nice sunset that just went down. And we're gonna continue here in the next video. Going further east, we're gonna cross into Thuringia, and there's some very interesting spots along the way.
Yes, so we'll see you tomorrow from here, bright and early.
Good night.
Gute Nacht.
Uncle, what happened?
Fuck, I just ran with my mouth open and a bug flew in there.
Nice. First clip is gonna be in the bloopers.